afternoon.
Shelf-wise, I know it was a walkthrough kind of practice, but anybody advancing, getting better, able to go?
I think everybody's getting better. Everybody's trending forward. Right now, everybody's in play-to-play.
In theory, as healthy as you've been in at least, what, 4 or 5 weeks?
I can't even remember how far back.
If you've seen Zyon play a lot, both in Carlton's place and Jamel's place, it's one of those nice problems to have, but do you know whether you'd stick with 2 of the 3 if all 3 were healthy and available, or if you might rotate there?
You don't really rotate corners. You find a way to play the third one, and you can get him in the ball game because he's such a good football player. Like you said, it's a good problem to have, and we're working on that right now. But I expect to play him, and I expect to play him quite a bit.
We saw Devin White run out onto the field today. How is his foot doing?
He's full go.
And did you at any point approach him about taking a different role on this team as far as like as a rotational player?
No, when we talked about it, we talked about how he would play and how his foot would come back, and then we go from there.
Is Devin White still captain on this team?
Yes, he is.
You mean the foot injury was going to cause you to rotate him rather than him play full-time? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, they had played great, so we're going to play him and rotate him anyway with him playing. But we have enough things where he can play, and we want to see him at full health, and then we'll kind of go from there.
What was his reaction to that?
He was fine when we talked about it.
He was okay with it?
Yeah.
He was okay with possibly being a rotational guy?
He was okay with seeing how his foot wasn't playing him, but he's trying to do everything he can to help us win. We need him to help us win. We got guys that go down all the time, so we're going to need all hands on deck.
Coach Baker Mayfield was the NFC's Player of the Week. Certainly one of his best games of his career. Just, has he done enough in your mind? I mean, I think we talked about this before, but like, we're not at the end of the season yet, but there's not much more you would have asked from a guy like this at this point, really, coming first year, new coordinator and all that.
I mean, he's done a lot for us this year. You can't imagine the things you don't see on the field that he's done for us from a team standpoint, from a mentality standpoint, from a bringing guys together and bringing guys along standpoint, not to mention how well he's been playing of late especially. And you can't say enough about what he's done since he's been here. I mean, that's usually hard to fathom, like you said, with a new OC and a new quarterback and a new system. To come along like they're coming along has been great.
What about from a personality standpoint? Like when you lose a guy like Tom Brady, a legend, there is a leadership hole, even though you have plenty of guys in that locker room that can step up, but you need a certain type of personality, right? So for Baker to come in there and kind of do what he's done, can you just speak to that?
Well, he did what he always does. He was himself. He wasn't trying to be Tom. We didn't have the same team that we had with Tom. We have completely different guys for the most part. I mean, we have a few guys left over here and there, but we revamped our offensive system. We revamped most of our offensive people, with the exception of about 5 maybe. And it's a different, you're not going to replace Tom ever. Nobody is. He's a legend. He'll go down in the Hall of Fame. Anybody that comes after Tom. If you play well, you're going to be talked about in a good category, not Tom's category, but a good category. And if you play bad, well, he's not Tom. So he was in a lose-lose from a fan ballot standpoint to begin with, and he didn't try to win the fan ballot. He just put his head down and he worked, and he won the team over, which is what was great about it. And he's doing things his way, and we're doing things our way. And it's not as pretty as when Tom was here, but we're scrappy, and we're pulling them out, and we're getting things done.
So it sounds like you want him to sign an extension to be your quarterback for the next couple of years. I know that's Jason's thing, but I'm sure you're going to, have your say. You want him?
I'll deal with all that when the season's over. Right now, I'm trying to beat Jacksonville. But I do love where he's at.
With Levante David, I mean, we just mentioned Tom Brady as someone who was able to play, into his 40s with his career. I mean, Levante is an older guy as well, but for him to be north of 100 tackles, 15 tackles for losses, all the things that he does, just what can you say about him at this point in his career that he continues to do for your group?
First, I'm not going to put anybody in Tom's category. He got his own place right over here, and it's Mount Rushmore all by himself. His one photo is one mountain, that's him. And that being said, Levante has done a great job over his course of his whole career, especially the last few years of turning back the clock and playing great football and keeps himself in shape and mentally tuned in, and we love where he's at.
There's probably a lot of reasons for Chris, having the success he did on last Sunday, but did he move more in the slot than he has in the past throughout the year? Because I know it had been about 60-30, the opposite for most of the year.
He played more in there. We got things going in the run and pass game, in and out of the slot. I think we got him involved on the first play of the game. It kind of skyrocketed it from there, and we need both of those guys, Chris and Mike, to play well for us to be great.
I know that you just mentioned Levante, and obviously that was a big play at the end of the game there, but another guy that was involved on that play was Shaq Barrett. Just what can you say about him and kind of the timeliness of him getting there at the very end of the game? Jordan Love being able to dislodge the football on that play.
Shaq's played hard all year. He may not show in the sack category, but from an overall teammate status category as far as run, disrupting the run plays, disrupting the passers, commanding two guys trying to block them, and to turn it on at the end and help make that play was big for him. It was big for him. It was big for us. He's the perfect team player, and he comes ready to play every Sunday.
Todd, looking at the matchup against the Jaguars this weekend, what kind of stands out to you on either side of the football against their scheme and system?
Well, defensively, they lead the league in takeaways, so that's going to be critical for us not turning the ball over. They got two great edge rushers that really know how to get after the passer and stop the run on the edge, and they got two fast linebackers on the inside. Offensively, the way Ridley's playing right now, it's hard to argue he's not one of the top three in the league right now, the way he's been playing. Trevor Lawrence is a phenomenal quarterback, running and throwing the football, and Etienne can run and catch the ball out of the backfield. And Ingram is a tight end / wide receiver, or whatever you want to call him. He can block, he can run, he can catch, so they present a lot of problems.
Hey Todd, just for clarity's sake, about Sunday, Devin, can you just explain on Sunday him being deactivated, like just the clarity on how that should be explained, or what happened on Sunday that changed things in terms of that process?
Okay, I'm going to say this one time. He was medically cleared to play. Then he indicated that he didn't feel right and informed me that he couldn't play, he couldn't go. We had ongoing conversations till Sunday morning, and when I decided to deactivate him, when he got to the stadium, he found out he was inactive.
And none of that had to do with the fact that he was going to be rotated.
No.
When you say he's full go now, do you expect him to play Sunday, business as usual?
I expect him to be ready to play, and he'll be ready to play.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.